Our next speaker is David Flanagan, Managing Director of Arrow Minerals. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you so much to Africa Down Under for the opportunity to come and talk to you today about Arrow Minerals, but also about Guinea as an investment destination that maybe now is the perfect time for Guinea. It has the confluence of demand for commodities, opportunities in infrastructure, and we're seeing success from investment in the country, which is drawing others to the flame. That's the disclaimer you're all familiar with. I'm talking about project developments, and lots of these things are aspirational. So for Arrow Minerals, we have two projects in Guinea. One is the Simandou North project, and the other one is where we've acquired an option over the Niagara bauxite project. Both of these projects rely 100% on the railway line being built to service multiple users as part of the Simandou rail project. And this is really, really important. The understanding of mutualisation of mining infrastructure in Guinea, the understanding that this railway line is double track end to end. It has substantially more capacity than is required by the Simandou project, which means that that spare capacity will be available for third-party users to develop Guinea. If you are in the Simandou Rail Corridor Development Zone, you will have opportunity to access that railway line, and there will be massive opportunity through doing that for the people of Guinea. So Guinea is also the world's largest exporter of bauxite. So it is the largest exporter of high-quality bauxite in the world, and that means there is a highly trained workforce in mining. There is a highly trained workforce in relation to logistics and supply chain management. The 30 years that Rio Tinto have been working on the Simandou iron ore project and all of the other iron ore projects that have been there before means that there is a very well-trodden path to environmental permitting, resource definition, mining, crushing and screening, processing, value-adding, transport, transshipment, and shipping of product. And we feel very grateful to have arrived in Guinea and be exploring with the benefit of all of that local expertise at a time when this infrastructure is being built. So on balance, the Simandou North project is located immediately along strike. I'll sort of skip through a little bit of this. Immediately along strike from the Simandou project. So the geology that hosts the Simandou iron ore mining operations, which are currently being developed, runs due north off the ground held by, in joint venture between Winning and Baowu, onto our ground. Since joining the company, we've drilled about 500 holes. We've delivered some exploration targets, some exploration results, and we're now in the process of doing infill drilling and reporting a resource and a scoping study on those projects next year, fully with the intention of developing what we call is the smallest viable project. So it's that project which will demand the lowest capital cost, but that is viable in those communities at that operating cost and with those revenues. And it's our intention to start those operations as quickly as possible. And this is the area where we'll be drilling that project over the next 12 months. This is the Niagara bauxite project. By the way, our Simandou North project is about 25 kilometres from the railway line. The Niagara bauxite project, this is around about halfway between the Simandou project and the port of Moroboya. Here at Niagara, it's about 100 kilometres due north of the railway line, so there would be a haulage cost associated with transporting the bauxite from the project to the railway line before we gained access. But in here, it was explored in 3 major campaigns The most recently was with Vale in 2007, where they drilled 211 holes. We've published an exploration target in here of around about 170 to 340 million tonnes. Our intention is to go in here this year and to have drilled this and to have published a resource here next year and a scoping study next year. So again, the intention is to go in and drill and define the smallest viable project. And by what that means, it's the lowest capital cost. So what's the smallest amount of money we need to spend to start a mine? That would then be cash flow positive. And once both of those operations are up and running, we can then use the balance sheet of the business to expand those operations to generate the highest profit projects that would sustain substantial growth and substantial value for everyone. And, you know, and consistent with all of the principles of good conduct in Africa, like we're probably well in excess of 98% of our workforce is African, and probably more than 97% is from Guinea. You know, we had like 165 local people employed during our last drilling program, where we had up to 7 rigs in the field. So we get the importance of local development. This is a snapshot of the tenement at Niagara with the holes that were drilled by Vale in 2007. So Vale, again, a very large company. They drilled this project out, but in 2007, there was no railway line. So they walked away. So do you see the importance of that railway line? It doesn't just encourage investment in exploration. It encourages investment in mine development. It encourages development in training, education infrastructure, health infrastructure, shared infrastructure, and downstream processing opportunities and refining. Look, I'm not going to talk much about the market for bauxite. There's a lot of people who can talk at length about that. But in summary, Arrow Minerals absolutely wants to be a high-performing member of the community in Guinea. We have 2 projects, and in the very short period of time that we've raised our money and gone into the field, we have made much progress. So we started work in the field in February. Since then, we've drilled 500 holes. We've published 2 exploration targets on different projects. We've committed to our shareholders to complete resource estimation and scoping studies, with the intention of then completing feasibility studies and lodging applications for exploitation as soon as possible. We're completely dedicated to moving these projects quickly. We've so far, since January of this year, I think we've deployed $15 million to advance these projects. We are very active. So we want to develop both of those prospects and continue to grow them over time. We're very grateful for the opportunity to be in Guinea, and very grateful to have a front row seat in a world where the government recognises the benefit of shared infrastructure, invests in that shared infrastructure, and ensures that the proponents of that infrastructure make it available to third parties like Arrow Minerals. So thank you very much.